Alright, just waiting. Okay, it says we're live. Are we live? Are we live? Can the people see that we are here? I see we've got some people in the chat who have arrived. Do 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 do. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I've got the mic set up and the camera set up. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Ba-ba. Hey, yeah, there's everyone. Hey. Oh, I love doing this every month. This is a lot of fun. Other than Maui, who's your favorite Polynesian myth person? I really like Pele. Maybe Pele. Um. Do you consider making a review on Immortals? Now, are you talking about the movie that's all 300 style? Because if so, yeah, in the future. Are you talking about the Ubisoft game? Because if so, yeah, in the future. And I have played it. You can see the Let's Plays on this channel. Or are you talking about my own card game? Well, that would be very weird to review my own card game. It's the greatest game of all time. Nice shirt. Thank you. I like this shirt. Why are you singing, but keep on doing it? I like it. Sorry, it's over. The Zeus Zoo pun is a riot. Thank you. Are you going to be doing questions about mythology? I'll do whatever questions you guys throw in the chat. But I'm going to ask you right now, please don't overinflate the chat with who would win in a fight. Because, God, every single time. Indonesia here? Oh, hi! That's so cool. I love it when people from other countries watch. That's so fun. Do you like Hellboy? Because there's mythology in that. Yeah. I like Hellboy. I haven't, learned the deep lore or anything, but I do like it. Bro, just want to say you're my favorite YouTuber that covers mythology. You're inspiring. Keep up the good work. Thank you! Aw, that's so sweet. I actually ran into a fan a few days ago, and that was a lot of fun. I was at an event with Wilda, and yeah, I ran into a guy there who was a fan of the channel, and that was really wholesome. He asked for an autograph. That's actually the first autograph I've written. I was like, okay, how do I do this? Great Brahmastra review. Thanks. I'm very happy to hear you think that. Sorry, I got a little text from Shane about the Gods of Egypt video. I'm sorry it's taking so long. It as a lot of you know, my mom passed away this month, and been dealing with that, and it set a lot of things back. I had so much planned. I had it all set up to get the Gods of Egypt review done, and then I was going to review a movie for Halloween and get that done, and then I was going to get the next God of War and Accuracy video done, and then I was going to do something special because there's currently a Lord of the Rings show going, and I wanted to do a little Lord of the Rings video, going into the history of that. But that's not going to happen anytime soon now. I still want to do it, but it probably won't be for a while. Do you like Hercules? Hercules is my favorite, Heracles is my favorite Greek hero, and Hercules from Disney is my favorite Disney movie. So, yeah. What is that shirt? It's a Disney villain shirt. Got my favorite villain right here. I appreciate the condolences, thank you. What is your thoughts on Prince of Egypt? That's the greatest DreamWorks movie of all time, man. They're never gonna beat that, and I really wish they'd make more movies like it, but they're not going to. We're just gonna get fucking Trolls 3. I'm from Iraq. Hi! Awesome! Really cool. I'm kind of new to the channel, already a big fan, am into mythology stuff too. Thanks for the great content. Thank you very much. Wait, there was a question I wanted to answer. Okay, how many gods would it take to defeat a Hecatoncheires? No idea. There's never really been a good power scale for that. All we know is that apparently, Uranus was able to just toss all three of them into Tartarus. So how strong can they be? I mean, they must be pretty damn strong. They're guarding Tartarus now. Have Hades and Persephone had any kids? It depends on the version you look at, but Hades has had, if you compile all the different versions together, he's had about 3 kids, I believe. We got Zagreus, Macaria, and Melinoe. Why does everyone think Heracles is a big dumb brute? Because he's super strong, and people don't think people who are super strong can also be super smart. It's the whole jock stereotype, really. Is there a difference between Freya and Frigg? Yeah. Now, yeah, there's, like, Frigg was a later creation from what I know. Originally, Freya and Frigg were the same woman. Originally I think it was just Freya. But then, I actually prefer the whole Freya's one goddess and Frigg is another one. One, because I like more gods, and two, because it really, it added more to the characters, in my opinion. I like how Frigg, like, sews clouds together and stuff. That's always a lot of... That's really cool. Like, Frigg is more the motherly, like, goddess, and Freya is more, like... It's so interesting. She's like a Athena and Aphrodite merged together goddess. Very interesting there. You should do another God of War vid on 2. I did. The problem is not a ton of people saw that because YouTube age restricted it and pulled it out of the algorithm. I got the age restriction removed, but it was still completely pulled out of the algorithm. But you can find it on the channel. It's the first thing that'll pop up when you go to the channel. It's under popular uploads, because it's the most recent one, so yeah. What's better, the Iliad or the Odyssey? It really depends on taste. Are you more into, like, romancy stuff and a siege? Then you want the Iliad. Are you more into an adventure and a whole bunch of different magical shit happening? Then you want the Odyssey. I love both, but I'm gonna lean towards the Odyssey there. I love Hades. Do you? Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. What do you think of Anubis? He's my favorite Egyptian god. I have a statue of him over there. Do you like the game Hades? Love it. I did a video bragging when I got every single achievement in that. You can check that out. Would you rather live in a universe of Norse mythology or Greek mythology? Ugh, I wouldn't want to live in either. Norse would be so damn complicated, and Greek would have, Zeus going around doing his thing. Probably Greek, just because it's less gruesome, Like, it's still not good, but, I wouldn't want to live in a world where it's like, alright, the war is coming up, and we're all gonna have to fight in it. Is Ganesh the only elephant god? There's actually a lot of different versions and or avatars of Ganesh in Hindu mythology. Though, okay, I get, like, not counting those as different ones. Do I know of another elephant god? If there's another one, it would have to be in African myths, right? Amazingly, I don't know of any in Egypt. There's gotta be another one. I'll try to find one, but yeah, I guess Ganesh is the only one I know of right now. How many gods do you think can defeat Zeus? Well, are we talking about in Greek mythology or in all mythologies? Because if we're talking all mythologies, I think there's plenty who can beat Zeus. In Greek mythology, though, it's probably just, like, a couple of the primordials. Talk about Lord Hanuman? Okay, Lord Hanuman is a ton of fun. He's, he bears a lot of similarities to Sun Wukong. He once thought the sun was a fruit and tried to eat it, either the sun or the moon. He used to be a total mischief maker, but then eventually he got put in his place, and he learned how to be honorable, and he found enlightenment. And, it's actually a really interesting story. It's one of the reasons I like characters like Hanuman and Sun Wukong. You should do a video on Susanoo. I've done, 3. Go check them out. Will you check out a mythology-based series? Always. Has Zeus ever been defeated? He has been drugged, basically, but he always ends up winning in the end. Okay, so one of the things about these Q&As is the Patreon supporters, get their questions prioritized, and it looks like we've got 2 today, so I'm going to answer those, and then I'll get right back to the chat. Alright, so, first off, from our old friend Gavin Lothar. Gavin Lothar asks, is there any other pantheon or other beings that have golden ichor in their blood? Also, have you heard of the plans to remake Disney's Hercules? If so, what do you think? That's a good question. Not that I know of for the golden ichor blood. I only know of Greek having that. If you want something really fun, though, Aztec gods have snakes for blood. So that's the coolest one, in my opinion. We know Egyptian gods bleed, but nothing ever says what they bleed. Like, so, and since it's never stated that they bleed anything special, I'm just gonna assume Egyptian gods just bleed regular blood. We know Norse gods bleed regular blood. Um, but yeah, Greeks have golden ichor, and Aztecs have snakes. Amazing. Like, don't cut an Aztec god, you're only going to make the situation even worse. Yes, I have heard of the plans to remake Disney's Hercules. What are my thoughts on it? It's going to suck ass. They all suck ass. There hasn't been a good Disney remake yet. I mean, the only one I like is the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians, and that's from like 20 years ago. Um, like, all of the Disney remakes are fucking terrible. Like, the Hercules one is gonna be probably one of the worst ones. The Little Mermaid one, everyone's, like, arguing about the race, and I don't see why. It's gonna be bad either way, who cares? Everyone was shocked that, like, did you hear how bad Pinocchio was? And I'm like, duh, what were you expecting? The only thing surprising about Pinocchio was how horrifying he looked in the trailer. And, yeah, some people are like, oh, but the Russo brothers are doing the Hercules movies. The Russo brothers are fantastic directors. Well, yeah, but do you know who else is a fantastic director? Jon Favreau. And did you see the Lion King remake? That was a piece of crap. Like, so, yeah, it's like, it's just, you know, Disney's remakes are terrible. So, but I'll tell you one thing, I'll definitely do a video on it. I'll probably get some good content out of that crap movie when it comes out, remaking my favorite Disney movie. But yeah, that's Gavin Lothar's questions. And now we have Eddie. Eddie asks, hey, can you name your favorite god from each mythology you know? Oh, I get asked this all the time. Okay. Favorite gods from every mythology. Okay. Well, in Greek it's Hades. In Egyptian, it's Anubis. In Norse, it's Loki. In Chinese, it's Sun Wukong. In Japanese, it's Hachiman. In Hindu, it's Kali. In Celtic, it's the Dagda. In Polynesian, it's Maui. In Native American, it's Coyote. In okay, what am I missing here? In Mesopotamian, it's I think it was Chernobog. No, wait, Chernobog Slavic. What am I doing? No. Sorry. In Mesopotamian, it's Pazuzu. In Slavic, it's either Chernobog or Marzana. And what am I missing here? Oh, in Voodoo, it's Baron Samedi. I also really like Papa Legby, but I'm gonna go with Baron Samedi on that one. And in like the West African pantheon, not including voodoo, it's Anansi. And I mean, Christians only got one, so like can't really pick a favorite there. I think that about covers all the big ones. That I know enough gods of to pick a favorite. Okay, well those are the Patreon questions. Thank you guys so much for being Patreon supporters. And now back to the chat. Who is your favorite Roman and Greek goddess? Hestia. Hestia is Bestia. That's always going to be the answer there. Please don't spam the chat. I dare you to pronounce Mnemosyne. Mnemosyne. Well, there you go. That's me pronouncing it. How did Kronos impregnate Rhea? By fucking her. That's how. If you had to make one mythology real, what would it be? Like, I assume we're not counting Christianity in that one. If I had to pick one, I have to make one real. I'll probably go with Indian. That's, like, Hindu. That's probably the most, like, you know, would work well if it was a real thing. And I know a lot of people believe in it, so hey, don't take that as me, like, insulting you by saying your mythology isn't real. Take that as me saying, I'd like your mythology to be real. So there you go. Like, oh, Maria, thank you for the $5 donation. My condolences about your mom, and thank you so much for your live stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was really rough for a while, and I took a break because of it. But, you know, life goes on. I have a question. Whoop, and there goes the question. Let me find it again. Alright, what is Atlas standing on, and what is he holding up? Well, he's standing on the ground, and he's holding up the sky. That's what he's doing. Everyone says, like, oh, he holds up the whole Earth. No, he doesn't. He holds up the sky. That's a huge misconception that he holds up the whole Earth. Hey, do you read Marvel Comics? Please answer. By the way, my favorite Greek god is Koalamos. Yes, I do read Marvel Comics. In fact, like, there you go. Can you see? I've got a whole bunch of comics over there, and a lot of those are Marvel. So there you go. Yeah, I do read Marvel Comics. Your favorite Greek god is the god of stupidity, huh? That's an interesting one. Oh, God. How did Kronos impregnate Rhea in the God of War version where he's huge? Go ask Corey Barlog that. Why are you asking me? I don't fracking know. I made a joke about that in the inaccuracy video. Alex, thank you for the donation. Love your channel. Learned a lot watching you. Thank you so much. It's very happy. That's awesome to hear. I really appreciate that. Always makes me happy. This is such a rewarding job, honestly. And, anybody can do it. Like, I failed out of school. If I can do it, you can do it. So, yeah. Who's your favorite primordial god? Oh, that's a good one. Tartarus, actually. Because I think that's just badass as shit. A lot of people's is Nyx, and she's probably my number 2. But, I really love the idea of Tartarus, the hell itself, being alive. How metal is that? Thanatos, thank you for the donation. Wow, a Greek god is donating money. Found a way to support you. Check your Patreon. Oh, sweet! Oh, cool. I'll check that, I guess I'll check that now, or do I have a new email? Oh yeah, I got some new stuff here. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Oh, we got a new Q&A question on Patreon. Okay, I'll read that. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, wasn't expecting that. No, already did that one. Justin Brown. By the way, I recognize you, Justin. I've seen you on the channel a lot. Did you know that many people think Jesus taught to not judge people, but what he actually meant was to not judge hypocritically? He was telling his disciples to get their failings dealt with and judge righteously to help people repent their sins. Yeah, I do know that. That's the whole... There's 2 different ways he said that. One was, he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Basically saying, hey, don't, throw shit at people if you yourself are guilty of the same shit. That's bull. And the second way he said that was, judge not lest you be judged. That was him saying, if you're gonna talk shit, you better be ready for people to point out your shit as well. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I did know that. And, yeah, I personally am a huge hater of hypocrisy. And, I guess in my videos I did just say, Jesus say, hey, try not to judge people, but those videos are mainly there to be a joke, and, yeah, but I am aware of that, yeah. Thank you, by the way, Justin, for being a supporter. Oh, that's, okay, that one's not a Q&A question, so I will get to that one later. Okay, well, that's caught up on the Patreon now. Okay, back to you guys, sorry about that. Has Zeus impregnated any more women? If he exists, I'm sure he has. Hello from Germany, nice, awesome. I don't remember how to say hello in German, I'm so sorry, but thank you very much. God of War 3 video when? When I finish all the other stuff I currently have scheduled, but it will happen, don't worry. Are there people who still believe in Zeus? Surprisingly, yes. I don't get it, but, you do you. Is God of War game based on the real story? It's inspired by the real story, but it's not making an attempt to be a true adaptation of it. It's just, God of War just wants to be fun and cool. That's what it's trying to do, and it does that very well. Random fact about Egyptian mythology. Okay, there's an Egyptian god who created 2 children by jerking off. There's your random fact. What is your favorite Rick Riordan Presents book? I haven't read enough to tell you. I've only read Aru Shah so far. So yeah, it wouldn't be fair for me to answer that. What is your opinion on the Egyptian goddess Nut? I think Nut has a funny name. And, yeah, I feel terrible for her. She's the goddess who was like, I'm pregnant with 5 kids. And Ra said, you're not allowed to give birth to those kids. Hold them in! Hold them in! That crazy person. If you like Krishna, do you like Krishna? And who do you think would have won if Bhishma and Krishna had a fight? Well, I do like Krishna. Krishna, in a lot of ways, is like Hindu Heracles. He fought a whole ton of monsters growing up. It's really cool. I think Krishna would win a fight against Bhishma. Bhishma's an excellent warrior, but Krishna defeated monsters like 10 times his size. Krishna lifted a whole mountain on his finger. Bhishma ain't beating that guy. Come on. like, isn't it weird Cuchulainn, the Irish myth, is a hero for killing the king's dog? Well, he's not a hero for doing that. He got his name from doing that. Question. I've been rewatching Ben 10 recently. That's a fantastic show. The first one. And I've been thinking, could Ben be considered a god with all the crazy aliens and crazy abilities? I mean, only if one of the aliens he's using is considered a god. Maybe Alien X is, but, I mean, he's just really powerful. That doesn't make you a god. It's a different thing. It's like a black hole is super powerful. That doesn't make it a god. Fun fact for Anubis. Okay, there are 2 different versions about how Anubis was born. One being that he's the son of Set, and the other being that he's the product of Nephthys having an affair with Osiris. And in either version, Osiris raised Anubis, and that's why Anubis is so loyal to him. So there's a fun fact for you. Do a video about the Jade Emperor. I technically did one with all the immortalities thing, but I think you mean like dedicated more to him. Maybe in the future. Have you read about Mesopotamian mythology? If so, what's your favorite thing about it? Yeah, the Epic of Gilgamesh is really freaking awesome. And I love how the Epic of Gilgamesh feels like a shonen anime, honestly, when you read it. So that's one of my favorite things about it. Will you do a YouTube Metroid live? I don't see why I would. Does Metroid have anything to do with mythology? Will Kratos die in God of War Ragnarok? I doubt it. We're not letting that cash cow die. Come on. Do you like Typhon? As a person, no. As a monster, hell the hell yeah. He's amazing. What's a myth that you barely know about and maybe want to learn more about? Persian mythology. I want to learn a lot more Persian. I don't know enough Persian. But from what I've seen, it looks really cool. Ra versus Apophis, it happens every morning. Ra wins. Would Hephaestus stand a chance against Zeus? No, not in the slightest. Have you watched Primal? No, I have not. Which do you think would win, Norse or Greek? Norse would win if it's just the gods fighting. If the primordials get involved, then Greek wins. Who is your favorite Rick Riordan character? Percy. I know it's a stereotype, but I always resonated with Percy really well. Okay, I've seen this question a few times. I'm going to try to answer it. Hi, Mythology Guy. I'm a huge Norse mythology nerd. I'm considering getting 2 dogs and naming them Skoll and Hati. That's awesome. After the 2 wolf spirits that chase the sun and moon. Why do you think about it? Well, as I said, I think that's awesome. Like, do it. Fucking do it. Why not? That's a ton of fun, it sounds like. You can name them that. You could name them Fenrir and Garm also, if you want to, or Gary and Frecky. You could also do that. I mean, it's up to you, and I guess if you live with someone who co-owns the dogs, it's also partially up to them. When will you be doing Twitch streams? With how much of a piece of shit Twitch is being? Probably never, honestly. But I do stream on my friend's account every Wednesday. We just did it yesterday. Yeah, Twitch is being an absolute, piece of shit right now. They're treating their creators like dirt, and it's making me think I was gonna, start streaming on Twitch, but I might just do it on YouTube now. Do you think Hera is misunderstood? Partially, because she did have a shitty hand dealt to her, but she's still a piece of shit. She still does irredeemable things. So, partially, but not entirely. You familiar with Monster Hunter? The monsters Xenogre and Kirin have mythology roots. Yeah, Kirin would be, obviously from Japanese myth. The Xenogre is a thunder-based wolf based on the Raiju. Oh, okay, the lightning wolves from Japanese myth. Will you check the series out, please? At some point, probably, yeah. Because I do want to start streaming a bunch of myth games. And so if there are mythical characters in Monster Hunter, then yeah, I could easily put that on the list. Physically strongest god in all of mythology? Probably the Abrahamic one. He's omnipotent. Who do you think would win, Thor or Heracles? That's a fight I would pay to see. I'm not sure. I think I think probably Heracles if Thor doesn't have his gloves and his hammer. But if Thor does have his gloves and his hammer, it's really hard to say. What is the stream channel? The one I appear in every Wednesday, it's twitch.tv/Zaggard. You can go through the community posts if you want to see where I've linked it several times, or you can just go to any of the Let's Play videos, and it's the first thing linked in the description. I love when the gods get angry, they start a war. I don't think the people love that. I have a gun? Congrats. Be responsible with it. Where did your love for mythology start? My mom used to read it to me when I was like 3. She read me from Dulair's Greek Myths. That's how it started. And I owe a lot to her because of that. Will you ever make a video about Journey to the West? Oh, definitely. Yeah, I will most likely do. I wanted to do a full Journey to the West breakdown before Black Myth Wukong comes out. That's what I'm thinking about doing, but that's going to take a lot of work. Journey to the West is a huge story. Not sure how Patreon works. I think I've sent a question through if you want to check that out. Alright, let me take a look. What do we got? I mean, I've got a new question from Helios F's. Oh, it says for live. Okay, yeah, actually, my mistake. I should have read this earlier. Hi, I'm the guy who's writing the book, if you remember. Okay, yeah, I am talking to a few people on Discord who are writing books. I'm guessing you're the one writing the Apollo, the Helios Apollo book, based on your username. Just wondering if you're going to be on Discord anytime soon. Yeah, I'm sorry, I fell behind. Thank you so much for supporting, by the way, Helios F's. And Helios F's is writing what sounds like a really cool book, and he messaged me about it on Discord. Now, the thing is, I fell way behind on the Discord when my mom passed away because I couldn't deal with it. And so a lot of stuff really piled up. It took me a while just to catch up on the on the questions for me channel in the Discord, and meanwhile the personal messages people have sent me have gotten really big, and it's a lot to go through, and I don't want anyone to be left out, so it takes a long time, and it's really intimidating, and I'm sorry to anyone who's been messaging me on there that I haven't gotten back to them. It's just it's difficult. Yeah. But thank you so much for supporting, and thank you for sending me your story. It's really cool. Greatest Demigod, thank you for the $5 donation. Can you do every mythological inaccuracy videos on the Thor and Loki series? Also, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you. I assume you mean like the Thor movies and the Loki TV show. Yeah, I was planning on doing that when I finished the God of War series. Like, I want to finish doing the God of War games, and then I thought I'd do an inaccuracy video for each Thor movie. And then maybe go into the Loki series. It's hard to say. It has, like, nothing to do with mythology. What do you know about Thanatos? I mean, you know, the basics. God of Death, basically the Greek Grim Reaper. A lot of similarities to Azrael. Works for Hades. Sometimes uses a blade, sometimes uses a scythe. Son of Nyx, brother of Hypnos, twin brother of Hypnos specifically. Got tricked by Sisyphus, got beaten up by Heracles. He has a wife in some versions. You know, it's the basics. If Apophis and Kronos went head-to-head, who would win? By the way, your reviews on films are very detailed, especially Halloween Kills. Oh, you mean the discussion video? Yeah. Yeah, I hated that movie. Thank you very much. If Apophis and Kronos fought, it's hard to say. Apophis is big enough to eat the sun, but Kronos did defeat the sky itself. And then he got beaten by Zeus. Apophis has been beaten by Ra, Set, and Bast, and Sekhmet. I don't know. It's really hard to scale those powers, honestly. How old are the primordials? As old as it gets. Have you ever heard of or reacted to the game Smite, Battleground of the Gods? It's my favorite game because of the multiple pantheons. Maui is the next god. Oh, that's cool. And most of your favorite gods are in. Please react. You know, I was playing that game when it first started, honestly. I was one of the first people who played that. And it wasn't for me because I didn't like. I wasn't into MOBA gameplay. I was like, oh, this is just League of Legends again, or Dota again, or whatever. And I did not like Dota or League of Legends. I know a ton of people do. It's just not my gameplay style. And I got into Smite because I was like, oh, hell yeah, there's a Mythology. And then when I played it, I was like, oh, is this the game? There's no story mode or anything. But I know they've added a shit ton of stuff to it. And yeah, when I left, they had like just like added an Achilles. I think that was a long time ago, or maybe it was earlier than that. I don't know. Every now and then I look at it just to see how big it's gotten, and yeah, they've added in a ton of shit. I'm planning to eventually like stream it and stuff, and maybe do a video like reviewing it or something. Maybe that's what, and try to do it unbiased. I won't like lower the score because it's not my personal gameplay style, but I know a lot of people want me to talk about it, so I'll try to talk about it. Smite was actually really fun. Yeah, I know a lot of people really love it. Thoughts on She-Hulk? I haven't watched it yet, and I have no hopes at all based on what I've heard. I think this has been asked before, but how did you get into mythology? Okay, again, my mom read it to me when I was 3. That's how. What do you think would happen if instead of Zeus... there goes the question. Instead of Zeus, Hades was the one who wasn't eaten. I mean, I think basically the same shit, because, Zeus was raised specifically to, get his brothers back. I think the same thing would have happened with Hades. What do you think will happen after God of War Ragnarok? I think we'll go into a new mythology, probably Egyptian, since that's what they were originally planning to do with the new God of War anyway. So, yeah. Not really true mythology, but based thoughts on Tolkien's work? Oh, Tolkien's work is a masterpiece. It's fantastic. And that's why I'm very sad to hear that apparently the new show is awful and, like, spits on his work and stuff. I don't know, though. I haven't watched it yet, and, I have to, like I said, I really wanted to do a Tolkien video before the Rings of Power show came out. I was gonna read through The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and The Silmarillion, and then I was also gonna read about Tolkien's life, and I was going to, create a video talking about how Christianity, Norse mythology, Finnish mythology, and real war all went into Tolkien's creativity for his world. But unfortunately, because of everything that happened and the stuff I'm currently behind on, that's probably not going to happen for like another year. Was Metis supposed to have 1 child or 2? It depends on who you ask. The more popular version is she was having twins, and one of them was a boy who was supposed to overthrow Zeus, and that boy like died because he wasn't. Somehow he died, but Athena didn't. Mythology makes no sense. Will you do a theory on God of War Ragnarok? Now, it's hard to do a theory, but I will do like probably a video like things I most want to see in it. Like I'll probably do something like that. Favorite creature in all of mythology? I love hybrid creatures like the Chimera or the Baku or Amit or stuff like that. Those are some of my favorites. But yeah, any hybrid thing I really, really like. Do you play Magic the Gathering? No, I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy growing up. But amazingly, a lot of people who have played, like beta tested my game that I've made have compared it to Magic the Gathering, which is a good thing to be compared to the most successful card game of all time. And now I'm going to ban this goddamn bot that's trying to get people to go to an adult dating site. Go the hell away. Stupid goddamn scam bots. Can't stand these people. Have you played Forgotten City? No, I have not. Will you ever look into Lovecraftian lore? I've looked into it a bit, and I will try to look into it more. Thoughts on the Kid Icarus games? I haven't played them. I've played Smash, and I know Pit from that, but I haven't played Kid Icarus yet, and when I do, I'll do videos on it. Is Hades evil? No, not really. That's a misconception. Have you ever done a video on how Thor's hammer is just extremely heavy and you don't have to be worthy? I haven't done a video specifically on that. I've done some joke videos on that. But we'll probably get into that when I do every inaccuracy in Thor. Have you played Last of Us? Yes, I loved the first game, but I was one of the few people who actually didn't like the ending of the first game. I thought what the main character did at the end was insanely evil and irredeemable. Honestly, I kind of wished it had been a choice we could make. But other than that, I liked the game, and then I played the second game and I just hated it so much. Like, the story was so goddamn bad. But everything besides the story was fantastic, which is really depressing when you consider how bad the story is and how much that pulled down the overall game. Was the Trojan War a myth, or was it an actual war and the gods taking sides with it was a myth? You're right on the second one. That was an actual war, and it was fictionalized in a lot of ways. If every pantheon went to war, which would win? I've said this before. I think it would either be Hindu or Abrahamic, because Abrahamic is omnipotent and Hindu has Shiva. Have you played Age of Mythology? That's my favorite myth game of all time, man. I've been playing that game for over 20 years. Opinion on God of War's depiction of the Hydra. Huge missed opportunity. It's just a boring three-headed sea serpent. The Hydra is so much more than that. But people like it, so cool. Yeah, nothing bad with that. If Jesus is the Lamb of the Lord and God is a lion, what is the Holy Spirit? I don't know, a chicken? Hades versus Zeus? We'll never know. We'll never know. Like, they've said that Poseidon could potentially go up against Zeus, but they never said anything about Hades. Have you seen any of the Predator movies? Every single one. The newest one was pretty fun. I watched The Predator recently. That's the one from 2018. That is one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so horrifically awful. I hated every single second of it. I didn't enjoy it. It was so goddamn bad. Don't even watch it with friends. It's just bad. It's not fun to watch at all. Yeah. What's your favorite boss in God of War 3? Probably Hades. Either Hades or Poseidon. Both are insanely epic. So yeah. Hi, this is very cool. Are you able to make a video about more Irish myths? I should really do more Celtic mythology. There is a Celtic playlist on the channel, but it's not super big, so I'll try to do more of that. Who is Scylla? Well, Scylla was, if I'm not mistaken, she was either a nymph or an oceanid, who, like, back before Circe was banished to her island, she was in love with a god named Glaucus, but Glaucus wasn't interested in her. He was interested in Scylla. So Circe, being awful, decided to poison Scylla with a potion that turned her into a monster. That's why Circe was banished to her island. Scylla then became a gigantic, what was it, 6 or 7? I think it was 7-headed sea serpent, where at the end of each serpent neck was the head of a dog. And she was then put at the Mycenaean Strait across from Charybdis. So that's what Scylla is. Does Hydra grow 2 heads each time one is cut off, or only one cut off grows back? This is a mistake I made in my Hercules Disney video. So I said when the Hydra gets a head cut off, only one grows back, and I was basing that off 2 things. I was basing that off my favorite myth book, D'Aulaire's Greek Myths, and I was also basing it off, when I was a teenager, I went to an old ruin which had been converted into a museum in Greece, and in this ruined museum, it said that the Hydra only grows back 1 head, and I talked to the tour guide, and she confirmed it. And because I was in Greece, at a Greek museum/ruin, and asked a Greek person, I took all that as, okay, that must be the answer. It must only grow back 1 head. But when you actually, as Jake W. has pointed out, when you actually look at the ancient Greek, written sources, there's nothing saying that. So that was my bad. I was off about that in the video. It actually does grow back 2 heads. Question. In Analysis of Feats, who is physically stronger, Mars or Ares? They're the same guy, man. I don't think either one is physically stronger. Mars is just Ares, the new name he took on when he went to Rome. You know, Harry Potter or Percy Jackson? Percy Jackson, but Harry Potter's fantastic. Are you going to do a review of Age of Mythology? Someday. Yeah. What's the price of your game? I'll tell you when I finalize a manufacturer and they give me a number. Are you going to... I already answered that. I'm a new Percy Jackson fan. What should I know about the series? You should know basic Greek mythology before you read it all, because then the series is a lot more fun. Can you tell about Kratos from mythology? Sure. Kratos in mythology was known as either Kratos or Kratos, depending on the spelling you want to go with. He was the son of the titan named Pallas, Titan of Battle, and Styx, the primordial of the river Styx itself. He was extremely powerful. All the children of Styx were extremely powerful. He has sisters like Bia and Zaleus and stuff, and after Zeus won the war against the Titans, Styx wanted to make sure that, like, her children would fall in well with this new, like, regime. So she and her kids immediately went and swore loyalty to Zeus. So Kratos and his siblings became, like, Zeus's, like, right hand, like, men and women. So basically the exact opposite of Kratos from the games. Kratos in mythology is extremely loyal to Zeus. Godzilla versus Zeus. Zeus would win that. Unless we're looking at Godzilla comics, I guess. I don't know. What are some gods that died? Osiris died and then was brought back. Balder died and he'll apparently come back after Ragnarok. Kvasir was murdered by two dwarves and his blood was turned into mead. Who else? No one in Greek mythology, no god in Greek mythology died because they can't die. Coatlicue from Aztec mythology was decapitated and killed. There's a lot of Aztec myths where certain god... There's another god whose head was chopped off and hung up in the underworld and just left down there. At one point he, like, spat on some girl because... Well, I guess he was still alive then, wasn't he? Oh, mythology is so weird. But yeah, there's some gods that died for you. Who would win, do you think would win in a fight, Cerberus or Fenrir? The Norse... Yeah, I feel like Cerberus could easily be subdued by a god, whereas Fenrir is going to kill Odin during Ragnarok, so I'm going to say Fenrir. Some say Zagreus died and reincarnated as Dionysus. Okay, cool. Hey, Andrew, whoa, there it goes. Where'd the question go? Hey, Andrew, is that right? That is right. In what way was Hephaestus ugly? From the statues I've seen, he looked pretty normal. Yeah, I think Greeks just didn't want to depict him as ugly because they didn't want to risk incurring his wrath. There's different versions. Some say he was born ugly and lame, and as a result of that, Hera got upset and threw him off Mount Olympus because Hera's a terrible mother. Other versions say he was fine, but then one time he sided with his mother in an argument, so Zeus threw him off Mount Olympus because Zeus is a terrible father, and by being thrown off Mount Olympus, he smashed his face and legs, so he became ugly and lame as a result of that. Those are the myths for you, and that's about it. Who's your favorite Greek villain? Typhon. Who is the god of stupidity? Koalamos. Were there mermaids in Norse mythos? Yeah, there were the children of Ran and Aegir, and then there's technically, like, Nixies can count, and Nokken can also count, but those are typically more horse-shaped. So there's some examples for you. Do you know Yoruba mythology? Barely at all. So don't rely on me for information on that until I learn more of it. Hey, I'm really into werewolves. What can you say about werewolf lore? You know what's interesting is the werewolf lore we have today is a mixture of two different mythologies. We get the word Lycan from Lycaon, which is the Greek myth of the man who, killed his kids and tried to feed them to Zeus. And so Zeus turned him into a wolf as a punishment, and that's where we get man turning into wolf, Lycaon. That's where we get the Lycan werewolf idea. But we mainly get our design and attitude of werewolves from the Romanian version, which is called the Pricolich, and those are, wolfmen who go around tearing people apart. So it's a mixture of... It's like the beast from Romanian mythology and its attitude from Romanian mythology, but then we get the man turning into wolf thing from Greek mythology and the name Lycan from Greek mythology. So, there's some werewolf fun facts for you. Kronos versus Godzilla? My god, I don't know. Hey Andrew, who would win in a fight? Oh my god, I said stop with the who wouldn't win in a fight things. Nyx or the Olympian Council? Let's just say Nyx, alright? Is Koalamos the god of politicians? Yes. God of stupidity, god of politicians, exact same thing. Thoughts on Record of Ragnarok? I did a video on that. You can check that out. Have you watched Supernatural? Not yet. When I do, I'll do vlogs on it, and you'll hear all my thoughts. Does Hades have a Biden? Yes, he does. Zeus has a Master Bolt, Poseidon has a Trident, Hades has a Biden. It's really interesting. Not a lot of people know about the Biden, but everyone knows about the Trident. Okay. Read Percy Jackson's Greek Gods, please. I did. I have it on my shelf. What are your thoughts on Genesis 38 in the Bible? Okay, believe it or not, I have not memorized what every single number refers to in the Bible, so I have no idea. What do you think is a mythology that's not getting the attention it deserves? Aztec. Use more Aztec. I want to see some Aztec shit happen more. You've probably answered this already. What's your favorite mythology? It's either Greek or Japanese. Greek because I'm biased and I know it the best, but Japanese because it's the most creative and insane. How accurate are the Jotuns from Thor 1? Not accurate in the slightest. Do you have a dustpan? Yeah, in the kitchen. Why? Do you watch Dragon Ball? It was inspired by Journey to the West. I have the entire Dragon Ball manga right over there, and Z. So yeah, I love the shit out of Dragon Ball. Who's the strongest out of Loki's children? Probably Jormungandr. You like Norse mythology? Love it. Rate the Smite gods? I don't know. I just told you earlier I don't typically play the game. Are vampires in mythology? Yes, in almost every single one. I actually did a video a while back. It's a low-quality video that I now cringe at, but it's there, called Vampires in Different Cultures, where I go over all the vampires I know of, like the Greek Empusa, the Chinese Jiangxi, the Romanian Strigoi, and, the African version, and the Indian version, and yada yada yada. Who is the most underrated Greek god? Diomedes, the Lord of Beans. Actually, most underrated Greek gods I would say are the children of Styx. They need more attention. They're really cool. What's a great book to learn Egyptian mythology? Check out the Jake Jackson one or the Matt Clayton one, I would say. Hi, Andrew. Hello, Alpha. Oh, Alpha from the streams. Nice. Worst god in all of mythology? Xenu from Scientology. That's fucking stupid. Favorite Hindu god? Kali. She's amazing. Are Jotuns big or normal size? Both. Jotun is just the name of their race. It doesn't necessarily mean big. Some of them are 10 feet tall, some of them are normal size, some of them are 1,000 feet tall. It depends on which one you're talking about. What's your religion? I personally am Catholic. That's my religion. My mom was Orthodox also, so I guess a little bit of that too. Do you have a Thor hammer? Yeah, it's over there. I'm not gonna go grab it. But and unfortunately you can't see it because it's blocked by something. But I've held it in my Thor Love and Thunder review and in a few Thor videos. So yeah, there you go. Least favorite god in Greek mythology? Again, it's Hera, just because she's a terrible person and there's not a lot of fun stories about her. But I still don't even dislike her. I like all the Greek gods. Thoughts on Talos? Oh, the giant robot statue. I think that's incredibly awesome and ahead of its time. Greek mythology was really ahead of its time in that way. Favorite? I already answered that. Sorry if you said this before, but I asked to ask, what are your thoughts on Cuchulain's story? I thought it was a lot of fun to read. I was bummed when the dog died. I never want a dog to die. And also it's really sad with the part where he encounters his son. So yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster of emotion. Have you dived into Slavic mythology? Yes, but I'm still not super well versed in it, I would say. So I'm not gonna make big comments on it until I'm more confident in that. Is Shrek based on a Celtic god? He's too powerful. No, he's not. By the way, not that you get much hate, but are you planning on releasing a second hate comments video? Yeah, at some point. But again, I have a lot scheduled that I fell behind on, so I need to catch up on all that first. Do you know the types of Jotun in Norse mythology? Well, there's a lot. There's mountain giants, earth giants, stone giants, fire giants, frost giants. Yeah, there you go. What is the best weapon? Knowledge. Knowledge is power. The pen is mightier than the sword. No, the best weapon is manipulation. That's always true. What whoa, there it went. Okay. What non-canon Greek god couples would be the most healthy. So what would be the healthiest Greek couple that isn't actually a Greek couple? I don't know, maybe Zeus and Aphrodite because they just swing all the time. Or maybe Hades and Hestia, because I feel like they'd be perfectly fine together. Or Hephaestus and Hestia. Actually, I think that would be a really nice one. But Hephaestus ended up with who he should end up with, and Hades ended up with who he should end up with. So those are fine. What mythology authors would you recommend? Whoever writes Dulaires, I don't remember who the actual author is for that. That's one. Jake Jackson, Matt Clayton, Rick Riordan. There's some examples for you. Oh, and Stephen Fry and Madeline Miller. There you go. Hey Andrew, how are you? Thank you. I'm okay. I've always been interested in learning about Greek mythology. Do you have any recommendations on how to start? Books, movies, etc. Thank you so much. Well, I do have a list of books I recommend linked in every single video I've made. It's the Amazon store page. I put in a compilation of a lot of the books I recommend. But just to say them out loud, Dulaires Greek Myths is, I think, where everybody should start. Then you can check out Rick Riordan, the Percy Jackson's Greek Gods and Greek Heroes. That's very beginner friendly. And if you want a lot of info that's still easy to digest, anything by Jake Jackson is fantastic. And if you want something that's more encyclopedia-ish, then go to the Matt Clayton books. World War Jason, thank you for the donation. This is an interesting comment. Most Jews are liberal and support LGBT. Good for them. Thanks for the donation. I'd have to ask the Jews about that, I suppose. Which Norse god would you kill, kiss, or marry? Okay. Kill, kiss, or marry. Well, I think I'd kill, even though he's my favorite, unfortunately I'm going to have to kill Loki so that Ragnarok doesn't happen. Kiss, I'd probably go kiss Freya, because she's the goddess of beauty. But who do I want to marry? Probably Frigg, because I feel like she'd be a fantastic wife. Or Sif, that would also be a fantastic wife. Yeah, actually, maybe I go with Sif. But yeah. What's the most accurate mythology movie? God, none of them are accurate. Yeah, none of them are accurate. I mean, Troy is less far off than other things are. And Jason and the Argonauts isn't bad, honestly. Maybe Jason and the Argonauts, if I recall. I haven't seen that since I was a kid, though, so it's hard to say. Oh, no, you know what? Most accurate mythology movie? King of Kings. There you go. The story of Jesus. It's told pretty much beat for beat. There's your answer. What's your favorite video that you made? It's actually probably the Hercules video. I'm really proud of that one, even though I made one mistake in it. But if we're talking shorts and stuff, I personally really like my Narcissus video, and my Ixion video, and my leak tape of Gaia and Uranus video. Those are some that I really like. Oh, and also the Surprise Arachne video. That's really fun. Would you rather eat... Oh, God! Would you rather eat Set's salad or be Zeus's wife? Why do you have to hurt me in this way? That's... So do I want to eat jizz, or do I want to get banged up the... to quote Auntie Donna, I'm skipping you. Nobody, thanks for the donation. I really enjoy your shorts, so binge-worthy. Thank you! I really appreciate that. That's really sweet. What's your favorite god from Norse mythology? Loki. He's super entertaining. Are Pegasi in many religions? I haven't seen them in anything except Greek myth, so I'm going to say no on that one. What male Greek god would you kiss, marry, kill? I'm not gay, so I wouldn't want to kiss or marry any of them. Honestly, maybe I'll kiss and marry Hephaestus, because I feel like he needs a kiss, and everyone knows if you marry Hephaestus, you don't have to sleep with him. So there you go. And then I'll just kill, I don't know, Zeus. What is your favorite Babylon god? God, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Smash or pass? Set. Pass because I'm not gay. Look, great if you want that, but I'm going to have to really inform you guys. I am, like, shockingly heterosexual. That's what I am. So I'm going to pass on everybody with a penis. I'm sorry. Air Tank, hey, good to see you again. Thanks for the donation. I already answered that. Why are you... You're making me answer it because would you rather eat such salad or be Zeus's wife? You son of a bitch. I was happy to see you, and then you had to do that. Why? Why do you do these things to me? Now I have to answer it. Shit. Fine. Set salad because that way it's a one-time thing. God. Thoughts on the Elder Scrolls? I enjoy Elder Scrolls Online. That's fun. Smash or pass? Hippo Woman. Oh, you mean Towerette? Yeah, I'll smash Towerette. I'm not into bestiality, but I am into very nice, caring women, which she seems to be. Alpha, thanks for the donation. I finally have cash to spare. Keep doing what you do, Andrew. Oh, thank you. That's sweet. It's very nice. Who do you think will be better at crafting Hephaestus or the dwarves in Norse mythology? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, God. Probably the dwarves, because they made, like, the most powerful weapons in the mythos. Hephaestus didn't. Like, those were... the most powerful were made by the Elder Cyclopses. Sullivan, thank you for the donation. There's no message, but thank you very much. We're going to wrap up soon, because we're coming up on an hour. I have not played any of the Kid Icarus games. Sorry. Do you know who Taweret is from Egyptian mythos? I was literally just saying. Yeah, she's the hippo goddess. She's one of many fertility goddesses. She's also like a god of women and children, and she's very sweet from what I've read about her. And she will be in the card game, by the way. Hi! If you could kill any mythology, not because you hate the stories, but because they're evil, who? If I could get rid of a mythology in general, Scientology, because they're scammers. Like, I don't like scammers. Who is your favorite god of war? Oh, probably Freya. Yeah. Probably Freya. Or Sekhmet, one of them. Sekhmet is super badass, but Freya's, more honorable. So, one of them. Is Dr. Fate myth related? Yeah, he's connected to the Lords of Order, which have a slight connection to Egyptian mythos. Like they use the Ankh, which is the symbol of order, and Ma'at from Egyptian mythology. So in some ways he is myth related, yeah. I love Kid Icarus, good for you. Have you ever thought about making your own mythology-based novel series like Percy Jackson? Well, I'd have to be a good writer to do that, which I do not consider myself to be. Opinion on Thor: Love and Thunder. I had fun watching it originally, but the more I thought about it later, the more dumb I realized it was. I was way too nice to that movie in my discussion video. Air Tank, thank you for the donation. I've been here the whole time, just don't have any questions today. Enjoyed it though, and I'm sorry, but I had to do that. I love you. I'm just joking around with you, and thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Who's your favorite wind god? Ooh, probably Fujin. I really love how unique Fujin is. Oh, or Fengpopo. Fengpopo is an old crone who rides a tiger around, and that's a really fun one too. It's either Fujin or Fengpopo, so I like the Asian wind gods, basically. Smash or pass, Aphrodite? Pass! Pass! Pass. I ain't dealing with the fallout of that shit. Favorite Percy Jackson book? Last Olympian. I love that one. That's just a huge battle. Favorite god based on toes? I guess Njord, because, he has the nicest feet in Norse myth. So, I guess we could count that being based kind of around toes. Ashira Yashiki's not a god, so, yeah. Favorite Greek Spartan? Probably just Leonidas, for obvious reasons. Who would win, Annabeth or Alex? I think Annabeth would win that. I already answered favorite Percy Jackson book. I'm Jewish. Do you know anything about Judaism? Oh, and by the way, World War person, we only support LGBT if you're not Jewish. If you are, it's not allowed. I'm not gonna comment on that because I know nothing about that. But do I know anything about Judaism? I know a bit of the mythos. Yeah, like you know what's really cool in Judaism is the golems. That's a really cool, like the clay like creatures. That's really awesome that they have. I also grew up in an era where in elementary school they were really trying to raise Jewish awareness. So they taught us about menorahs and dreidels, and they put on like Jewish like folk tales and stuff. Like the guy who lights a different candle every night and a different demon comes every night to try to stop him, but he outsmarts all of them. Like the one who gets his hand stuck in like a pickle jar and shit like that. I don't know if that's a popular Jewish story, but I found that story pretty entertaining. Have you played Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, I played a shit ton of it. I think I have my deck here. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. It was a dragon-themed deck. I got a lot of dragons here. And it was, that's one of the reasons I ended up making my own card game, is I enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon so much growing up that I wanted to make my own card game. So, yeah, you can thank Yu-Gi-Oh! For, like, the game existing. Chris, thank you for the donation. Love your content. So, as one mythology fan to another, have you ever played the TTRPG Scion from Onyx Path? If so, what's your favorite concept? I'm so sorry to tell you I have not played that, but I have had it recommended before. So, I really think I should, probably check it out, like, at some point. I have a lot of stuff on my list to check out, but there's a lot I'm working on making. Like I said, getting the Gods of Egypt review done. Then there's a Halloween movie review that I want to do in time for Halloween. Halloween Ends is coming out. That's something I'm going to have to do a video on because I hated Halloween Kills so much. I'm sure you all want to hear my thoughts on Halloween Ends. Also, after getting that stuff done, I've got, God of War games to do videos on. And then the new God of War is coming out. That's something I'm going to have to do a video on. And there's also a Christmas special review I want to do in time for Christmas. And, the channel's growth has been amazing. I'm going to need specials for, like, if we hit 1 million, which may happen, and I'm really blown away by that, but I do have to have a video ready for that, so that's another thing I need to do, and I also want to do that Tolkien video. And Sullivan, thank you for another donation. Again, no message, but thank you very much. So yeah, there's a lot to get done, and it makes it hard for me to check out new stuff, and get other stuff done. I really just want to finish what's on my schedule before I make a new schedule. Hello there, Mythology Guy. I'm an aspiring writer looking to make an animated show based on the Immortals card game. Oh, it's not even out yet, but, cool. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens when it comes out, and if you still want to do that, like, you can always message me if you have an idea or something, and we can always see what happens. But if that were to happen, that would be a long ways off. Who would win, Samira or Alex? I think Alex would win that fight. Crepidus is a comedy gold mine of a deity for skits. Okay. Favorite minor Greek god or goddess? Heracles. Who is the best god at twerking? I don't even know what to say to that. Like, who's the best god at twerking? I have no idea. Hydra versus Cerberus. I think Hydra would win, because Cerberus doesn't have a way to burn the stumps. And Cerberus would obviously, like, bite into the Hydra, and then the Hydra's acidic blood would probably burn Cerberus's mouth. So, yeah. Favorite video game? Kingdom Hearts 2. What if Kronos ate Zeus instead of the Rock? Then the Titans would still rule. What is your opinion on Satanism? I don't know why that's still a thing, but I personally think the main reason it's still a thing is literally just for, like, people who don't like Christianity and want to, like, rebel against it. And it's like, and I've looked at the people who have their stories of why they don't like Christianity, and it's like, yeah, that's perfectly valid. Some of them have had really bad experiences, like with churches or with pastors or stuff, and it's like, I get it. I totally, you're completely within your rights to have a problem with that, with the religion after what's happened to you. So like, I don't fault people for it, but I don't know. I'm not pro Satanism because I'm Catholic, but but I'm not gonna shit on people who are. Like, I know everyone's got their own thing and everyone has their own story. What are your thoughts on Percy Jackson's new series, the Disney Plus series? Go watch my reaction and you'll hear my thoughts. Thoth versus Sekhmet, who would win? I think Thoth would win because Thoth is smart enough to find a way. Hades versus Poseidon, again, we'll never know. We'll never know. How do you feel about, well, let me see that, Titania and Oberon? I'm sorry, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I don't... When you said Oberon, my first thought was Oberon Martell. The poor man died. There's my thoughts on it. There is a Roman god of poop? Yeah, that would be Sterculius. What's your favorite Mahabharat character? And do you know Disney announced their own Mahabharat? What? Disney's doing a Mahabharat? That could be awesome. I hope it's awesome. My favorite Mahabharat character. I always liked Gatotkacha, the, like, Bhim's son, who's half Asura. But also Karna's a really good character. Like, yeah. I also really like, what's the name of the archer who had to chop his thumb off? Ekalavia. I really like him too. So that's another one. Opinion on MODOK? I love MODOK. I hope he appears in the MCU. Favorite fantasy god? Like one that's was never meant to be assumed is real. Do I even know of any, like, fantasy gods? I don't think I do. Sorry. Would you date Aphrodite or Hera? You can't say neither, you have to pick. Okay, Aphrodite. If I try to date Hera, Zeus is gonna strap me to a flaming wheel in the underworld. Is Mayan Aztec myth the same deal as Roman Greek? No. One did not copy the other. Like taking the renaming that already existed. Thank you for your time in doing this Q&A. Also, I can't wait to see the finished Tartarus game. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see it either. We're making some good progress on it. No, Mayan and Aztec myth, like, one didn't, like, just take the gods of another and change their names. They actually influenced each other a lot. Like, it was back and forth, basically. So it was more like a codependence thing rather than a one guy just ripping off another guy thing. So, like, it's also, like, China and Japan had a lot of that, too. So, yeah, that's the difference there. But they do have a lot of the same gods. Like, Kukulkan is just Quetzalcoatl, but it's hard to say which one came first. Aphrodite X Hera? No, I don't think so. If you were forced to, which god from any mythology would you take out on a date? Hestia. Hello, Hestia is Bestia. Who's your favorite archangel? I forget, is Azrael an archangel? Because he's my favorite angel, so it would be Azrael, if he's an archangel. Hey Andrew, what's your favorite song? And ever heard of the band Gorillaz? I've heard the name of the band Gorillaz, but I don't know anything about their music. I don't follow a lot of bands. My favorite song is probably Any Way You Want It by Journey. Is Seth a bad guy? Yes, he is 100% a bad guy. Who's the strongest angel? Wasn't it supposed to be Gabriel? I think it's Gabriel. Who do you like more, Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, or Susanoo? Well, it's not Tsukuyomi, I can tell you that. Susanoo is kind of a dick, but he's also really impressive. Like, unlike Hera, like, he has cool stories around him, but he's also kind of a huge dick. But Amaterasu is also kind of a huge baby, even though I love both of these gods, but they both have their faults to them. I feel like I'd rather, like, watch a show about Susanoo than Amaterasu, because Susanoo would, we'd get to see him fight, like, Orochi and stuff like that. So, maybe Susanoo, I don't know, but I acknowledge he's kind of a dick, also. What is your opinion, Andrew, the worst Greek mythology movie you've ever seen? That's a tough one. What are some bad ones? Immortals is a terrible movie. The Dwayne Johnson Hercules movie sucks. That movie made me mad. Because they lied. They lied in the trailer about what the movie was going to be like. So that just pissed me the fuck off. And here's the thing. I haven't even fully seen it. But based on what I've heard, I think this is going to be the answer. The Legend of Hercules. From what I've heard, that's just one of the worst movies ever. So it's probably The Legend of Hercules. Who do you think's the most powerful character in Hindu mythology, not including gods? Okay. If we're not including gods, I'm not including avatars of gods either, because then the answer would just be Krishna. Most powerful character. If we're talking raw power, I think it's Beam. Because, yeah, I mean, Beam is the most raw... He's raw, powerful character. He's kind of like Krishna. He's also kind of like a Hindu Heracles. So, yeah, I'll say Beam. Okay, who do you think is the chillest Greek god? Definitely Hestia. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's been over an hour now. A lot of the questions I'm seeing I've already answered. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. I'm sorry I didn't announce this earlier. It's been a very difficult month, but I really appreciate all your support. You guys have been really nice to me, and I'm really happy about it. I'm starting to write my own mythology. Any advice? Just write it the way you want to write it, man. Include a god of the underworld, though, because I will like your mythology more if it has that. Yeah, and your support meant a lot to me, when I needed a break, because, there was a lot going on, and then I needed a break because of what happened to my mom, and you guys are really nice, and I really appreciate it, and, yeah. It's one of the reasons I love doing these Q&As so much. I get to interact with you guys, and I really do hope I can start, really streaming soon so that I can interact with you guys more, because I love my audience so much. I'm so lucky to have this audience. I'm so lucky to have you awesome people, and I really want to spend more time with you guys. So, hopefully I will. I know that's a weird thing to say right before I end a stream, but I do unfortunately have work to do, so I gotta get back to that. I love you guys very much, and I do not know how to end videos. Bye-bye.